You know, I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep doing this show or not because it's been kind of tough, honestly. Been really busy lately and stuff, and days like today are like the worst days to shoot an episode. Currently, at the time of this video, it's Friday, and Fridays where I work are notoriously bad for delivery schedules. I mean, they're really broken up. It's usually pretty slow, just the worst. But I'm gonna make an attempt at it anyway, so I apologize if there's a lot of breaks in this video, but we need to have a serious talk. I'm gonna see how much I can get this out, how quickly I can get it out, because there's a lot of stuff going on right now that's just hysterically bad. We're gonna talk a little bit about the media, and I know we talk about them enough, but the right as a whole talks about them all the time, but that's because they're usually so damn hysterical that it's just hard not to talk about them. I mean, they make news every single day. They make up news, and it makes for really good news on our side because it's like satire. It's almost like The Onion became every single mainstream media outlet that exists, besides a few rational sources, which even sometimes they aren't rational. But right now, the media and the left have pretty much jumped the shark. They're off the deep end so much so that they're claiming that pretty much all Trump supporters are the enemy. They've just outright said it. I mean, I know I'm kind of sounding like Alex Jones here, and Jones himself is saying the same things, but he's not wrong. They really have jumped the shark on this one. I mean, I went and I Googled some of CNN's top headlines, and just yesterday alone, this one was great. It says, almost no one thinks that Trump's discouragement of the white supremacists was enough. They're trying to say that almost nobody, I mean, that's literally how their headline starts. Almost nobody believes that Donald Trump discouraged the white supremacists enough at Charlottesville. What a crock of shit. They're saying basically, I mean, I've been paying attention to most of his supporters. I've been paying attention to a lot of people. I've been talking to a lot of people, and that's not what I gather. It seems to me that it's about a 50-50 split, so they're saying that half the country is almost nobody. And if you look at some of the polls that like NPR had, they had polls, they were asking the questions whether or not we should keep the Confederate statues and things like that. 62% of the nation says that we should. Even in some of the heavy Democrat polls, 53% of Democrats say that we should keep the statues. So based on those polls, you know, it's in favor that we keep those statues, and yet the same source of news that says that Donald Trump is not being supported, like barely at all, that only a small minority supports him, the same news sources are saying that most Americans want those statues gone. But yet, that's not true. I mean, these polls came from NPR, which is a notorious leftist outlet themselves. You know, the National Public Radio is hardly nationally public. It's national leftist radio is what it is. It's not really public. It's only public to the people that are agreeing to their agenda. So what they're trying to do here is they're trying to basically disconnect Trump from his base. They're trying to make anybody who feels like, you know, feels really strongly about Donald Trump's positions, feels in support for Donald Trump, they're trying to make you feel like the minority. They're trying to make people like me feel like the minority. And then they have headlines. They have another headline CNN had that said, it basically called all Trump supporters white supremacists by default. It said that if you voted for Donald Trump, that you were by default a white supremacist. They just named half the country white supremacists right there. And the more I look into it, the more disgusted I get. You know, on Comedy Central, they're promoting a new show. It's called what is it called? The Opposition, I believe it's called. It's by some guy, last name Kleps. He's going to be hosting it. I don't even know his full name. Screw him. I don't feel like giving him any sort of screen time on my channel, really. But it's by this smug-looking asshole that's basically going over all the points in which the left has lost the debate on, like topics such as racism and climate change and things like that. They go over all these topics and they make us out to be idiots. They had one satire point where they were like, oh, the Trump supporters don't even believe that China exists. Who the hell said that? Who the hell on the Trump side, who the hell said that? Not me. I don't know anybody that said that crap. And they just continue with all this BS, and they can say it because when you call them out on it, they say, oh man, it's just satire, man. You're taking it too seriously. We're just joking, man. It's Comedy Central. The CC stands for Comedy Central. No, it stands for Communist Central. You guys are garbage. You don't even know how to write jokes anymore. Everything you guys do is for a communist agenda. You're sitting there basically demonizing one side, and then every time you're called out on your disgusting behavior, you try to play it off as though it's a joke. And anytime a right-winger has even a joke that's even remotely can be taken as racist, even if it's a joke that isn't racist, but you can find a way to make it racist, you twist it so nastily to appear as such. You know, they had an article in the Atlantic Weekly, or whatever that stupid, disgusting magazine is called, that it said that the eclipse was racist. I mean, you can't write this shit. You can't make this shit up. It's just that disgusting. Now, how the hell? And it was a serious article. They're allowed to get away with crap like that, and then they're gonna get mad at us for pointing out where they're going too far. It's absolutely disgusting. So I don't know if you've noticed, but another thing in the media that kind of disappeared was the Russia narrative. Notice how that's not a thing anymore? It's because they finally admitted that in their polling that it was only pulling in like 7% of people's interest. Most people that were even taking interest at all were watching the story so they could debunk it. I mean, that's why I won't even look at their stuff. I just look at their headlines now. That's all you need to see. Their headlines tell you just how disgusting and biased and one-sided this whole entire media war is. When Trump says that the media is the enemy of the American people, he's right. He's 100% right. And for saying that, if this channel were to get popular, they would play that one line right there and say that I'm a white supremacist just for saying that they're the enemy of the American people. Well, they are. The media is the enemy of the American people. So much disinformation, so much nasty, one-sided, agenda-driven news coverage. And it continues. The Russian narrative finally failed. It's finally fizzling out. They've got nothing. They already knew they had nothing for the last 4 or 5 months. They knew that it wasn't going to work, and they've been looking for a way to replace it. Well, you know, they already have it. They have this agenda established. You know what their next point is? Claiming that the president has Alzheimer's. You've probably already heard this, because at the time of this video, it's been about 3 or 4 days now that I've been hearing about it. Every time ABC News comes on, it's like listening to any of the other outlets. They're saying that the president has Alzheimer's. And guess who predicted that? Guess who predicted that this was going to be the next move? Alex Jones. May 16th of this year, he had Roger Stone on, and Roger Stone had said they're going to make the president out to look like a crazy buffoon. They're going to say he has dementia and Alzheimer's and that he's unfit to run, and then they're going to try to use the 25th Amendment to get President Trump out of office, and that's what they're doing now. They're doing it. In fact, they even had the time frame right. They said that all the stops were going to be pulled out around summer. They said around summer. They didn't have an exact date because you can't really exactly predict when these people are going to pull this shit, but they did it. Summer. We're in late summer now, and they're pulling this card. They're saying that the president has Alzheimer's. See, this is what they're trying to do. They're doing the same thing they did in the election. They're trying to take the narrative and make you feel, you ordinary people out there, that you're a minority. You're not a minority. There's a reason we call you ordinary people, because you're normal. You guys are normal. All right? The left wants to make out that the normal is not the norm. And in fact, they even had another article that said that the ordinary people are the ones to blame for the supremacist president. That millions of Americans, ordinary Americans, voted for this, and now they have to deal with it. I'm paraphrasing it a little bit because I really can't read while you're not supposed to read while you drive and stuff, so I apologize for, the paraphrasing and stuff, but I have to be safe on the road here. Anyway, yeah. They're going after us, and they're calling us the enemy. CNN had some articles that were saying that you need to blacklist Trump supporters and call them out as the supremacists that they are. So they've named us the enemy. They've already done it. They've managed to turn half the country into the demonized personalities that they hate. They've demonized us. They've put labels over our head. They've thrown us all into a bucket. They say you don't want to debate with us. You know, that's what they're telling leftist people. And I know that a lot of you watching this video are probably saying, man, Michael, it doesn't matter, just don't pay attention to them, they don't have any control. But that's where you're wrong. I know people that believe this crap. One of them lives less than 50 feet away from me, and he believes this shit. If you looked at his Facebook page, you would see it for yourself. If you read his comments, you would see it for yourself. There are people out there that this is like dog whistles. They can hear it. It's dog whistles for them. They hear what the news is saying, and they feel like they're actually in trouble. And like they actually need to speak out and do more than speak out. They feel like they need to be violent. These are the people that are going out and protesting that aren't paid to protest. There are protesters that are actually paid to do this. They've caught the Craigslist ads hiring members to represent Antifa. So it's obvious that this is going up to some really, really dark shit. Okay? This is some deep state and George Soros level bullshit going on here, and it's real. So what I've got to say to you guys who say, don't pay attention to it, Michael, don't worry about it, look, you need to start worrying about it. Because if you ignore it, you're ignoring you're ignoring violence that's building up. Okay? Use your voice and point it out. I'm probably not going to run too many more episodes of this show because it's taking too much of my time and it's distracting me from preparing for the worst to happen. Okay? The next step in my agenda for fighting this tyranny is to start actively going to places and like calling my congressman and telling them, no, I support the president. I support what he's doing. You have no right to represent us in the way that you do. And I mean anybody. Call any of the congressmen. Even call the Democrat ones and let them know you're not okay with this shit. In fact, those are the people that really need to hear your opposition. All right? Because right now, if you're watching this and you're a moderate person who doesn't think that there's a civil war brewing, you're completely blind. It is brewing. It is happening. I know people. I've debated people on Facebook time and time again who are willing to take if it wasn't a keyboard between me and them, they'd take a swing at me. I have a friend who actually has a rebel sticker on the back of his car, and it's just like, I don't know why he has it, because he's not a supremacist or anything, but he has this sticker on his car and it says rebel, and he got out of his car and someone took a swing at him. They didn't even say anything. They were following him around in a truck. They got out and they took a swing at him. So when is that going to start happening to our veterans who have veteran stickers on the back of their cars, or an American flag, or the Gadsden flag, you know, don't tread on me? When's that going to happen? If your solution to avoiding getting into a confrontation is to just simply not make your political position known, then you are a mouse. You are a coward and you are a problem. Because it should not be against any kind of moral anything to have your opinion out there in the open. You shouldn't have people violently resisting you for saying that you are in support of the president. It shouldn't be a threat. Okay? This is wrong. I know I said I wanted to make this quick, and of course it's not going to be quick because I'm ranting here, but this is important, all right? They've made us out to be the enemy. CNN has actively said it. It is in the open, and I've seen it myself. I went and looked it up. I've debated with the crazy people that actually believe this shit, that are actually willing to carry out violent acts against conservatives because they disagree, okay? There is a resistance happening. And I don't care what Michael Medved says. He thinks the nation is still together and okay. It's not okay, Michael. It's not okay. There is a resistance. There is crazy people out there that these dog whistles are going towards. And CNN and MSNBC and ABC News and the New York Times, or as I like to call them, the New York Crimes, all of them are responsible for this because they continue to perpetuate it. They continue to make it obvious that they don't support the president. I've never seen a resistance to a president this strong. This is out of control. And it needs to be stopped. At this point, it is dangerous what they're doing. They're using their free speech to actively promote violence. That's not okay. And yeah, we can't censor them, but you know what? I can call them out for what they are. They are terrorists. CNN is a terrorist organization. And that's all there is to it. Looks like I got the whole rant in that I wanted to get in. Thank you guys for listening. Spread this link. Make it go viral. I don't care. get the word out there. If I didn't do a good enough job, if I rambled, then make a video yourself or make an argument. Because right now, things are out of control. And with them trying to say that people like me are a supremacist, family, do you honestly believe that I'm a supremacist because I voted for Donald J. Trump? Do you think that? Does anybody in my family believe that? Do any of my friends who, may be on the fence about these sort of politics believe that I'm a supremacist, that I don't have love for black people, that I don't love women, that I don't love... Of course I love people. What an insane thing to say. I voted for Donald J. Trump because I wanted lower taxes and I want to drive my car. And nothing is going to stop me from enjoying my life and connecting with the people that I love. So, you know what? If it's a war they want, take the first shots. I am not afraid. I am not afraid to be a target. Make this video go viral. Get it out there. It's time to start using your damn voice, people. Thanks for listening. I'm signing off.